Is that?
Guys, welcome back. I promised to go above and beyond and bring you guys regular people and Gecko stars. And today, I'm sure they need no introduction, but we have Audrey and Will here from Flawless Crested Geckos, and we're just gonna talk. We're gonna talk geckos. We're gonna talk life. We're gonna talk about the hobby. We're gonna have a conversation and see where it goes. I appreciate every single one of you guys for coming by. Everybody that supports us, the Gecko Exchange Network in general. Love every single one of you guys, man. Thank you so much. We do this for you. It really is, man. We're trying to pull the community together. We're trying to get information on the table. We're trying to build relationships and build bridges is what we're doing. So without any further ado, let's welcome Flawless Crested Geckos. Guys, again, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. I know how valuable your time is.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Doing wonderful, man. It's been pouring here for a week straight, but you know what? I'm dry, so I can't complain. So let's take it back to the. Sorry, I apologize. What did you say?
No, where are you located?
I'm in Connecticut, right next to New York, right on the border of Connecticut, where Connecticut and New York, all these little states meet.
Gotcha.
Yeah, nothing like where you guys are in Florida.
No, South Carolina.
Oh, you are in. Well, you're down south either way. Nothing like your weather, that's for sure. I dream of it. I dream of living down south. I honestly, nothing against Carolinas, but I'd be in Miami if it was up to me. I'd be in South Florida, man. Flip flops, tank tops all day.
Gotcha.
All right, so how did, and I'm sure if I ask any questions that you guys have talked about before, please don't take it offensive. Like I haven't heard you in other podcasts or anything. I just want to cover all bases. And kind of take it from the ground up. How did Flawless? Walk us through the inception of Flawless Crested Geckos, if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah, so gosh, now going into
10 years now.
No, I think we're in eight or nine, going into nine. Yeah, and basically we had 4 kids, and he ended up coming home with 4 geckos, 4 crested geckos from actually Pico.
Yep.
And him being the person that he is, he kind of dove in and started researching these little guys and figured out pretty quickly that everything that the Petco place told him to do as far as care, husbandry, and all that was completely just the opposite of what you should do. So then once we kind of started in on that, route of trying to figure out exactly what we should do for these guys to give them the best life possible, then we found the whole community of people that actually enjoyed breeding and doing and giving out information and all that kind of thing. So that's kind of where it started.
Right, and that's on Facebook. We found all the groups. We joined up pretty much with every single one of them that we really could. Everyone that we found, everyone we tried to network with, see all the pretty colors that you can kind of have them in. And we were completely oblivious to, morphs and genes and things of the sort. So we didn't even know that you can receive them through the mail per se. So we just kind of started looking around at everything everyone had and was creating. And then we just started ordering, from random people that we saw, beautiful geckos. Wasn't even really chasing the genetics at that specific time, more so what we liked.
Mm-hmm.
The typical wholesale style, which is nothing wrong with it, that you see at the pet stores for the most part, is all that we saw, when we first got the first 4. So we had like buckskin, bicolor, stuff like that. And they were really, really cool, but we just never knew that you can really, or that they came in that type of availability where, high white and, Harlequin, all kinds. It was insane.
Lily
mind blown. So like everyone else, it ended up turning into, the Pokemon scene where, you want to collect them all.
Sort of an obsession.
It was definitely an obsession. I can guarantee we were receiving 10 plus geckos a month.
Yeah.
Probably for over a year.
Yeah.
It was bad. bad. So our collection grew really, really fast.
Pretty rapidly. Yeah.
And then we just started trying to concentrate, So it's like with anyone else, the same thing. You get into it, you buy a little bit of everything, and then you sit back and you're like, all right, now what do I want to do? Now you fine tune exactly, the path that you want to go down. And you're not going to do that once or twice. It's going to be probably several times as if you go down the business side. Oh my gosh. We can't even count that as high as the amount of times we've changed, what you're saying?
Trajectories.
Change trajectories, back up and punt, all kinds of different plans when you're chasing this passion on what you want to create. So it's been a long journey. We come from a law enforcement background. So
I know that too. And thank both of you for your service, man. Amen. God bless you, man. I appreciate you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
You.
A lot of time away from home, away from the family. Believe it or not, it sounds so cliche, but the Crested Gecko journey for us has brought our family tighter and closer together.
Definitely.
We've gotten all the kids involved through the various stages of their life. Our daughter, she's 21. She's no longer really working for the business. She's doing her own thing. But we have 3 boys at this point. They're 13, about to turn 14.
15 and 15, almost 16.
Right. So they all work for the business as well. So it's been quite the journey, and we've run into so much stuff. But I do think that being prior law enforcement and just living life has helped us navigate through, some of the kind of the marshy areas that you run into, the cliques, the ups and downs of breeding, the success, the failures. And again, what I mean when I say failures is every time you do a pairing, it's not going to be successful. Your expectations are always not going to be met every time you do a pairing, as well as when you do partnerships and deals and things like that. We've chosen to not go down that route as a business, and to kind of just say, hey, which is how we got started, going into it in this realm of the reptile world. They never really took, and I still feel that way, Crested Geckos as a serious business. It's never really been respected like, monitors, even though, I would say that the monitor lane is a little bit more niche than ours. Ball pythons is just huge, but they've never respected the Crested Gecko industry hobby as a legit business. And I'm going to put it out there. We've said it before. We've used that to our advantage, getting into the business when we first started. You contact someone you completely adore, a gecko that you've been looking at, following a certain breeder, and maybe they're a small level business or maybe they're a hobbyist. It doesn't really matter, but you reach out to them and they're like, hey, yeah, this is not for sale. This is, my gecko. I love it. Gonna, keep this gecko forever. And you say, all right, we respect that. But if you ever consider it, would you consider this amount? And they're like, absolutely. When you want us to ship it.
When you want us to ship it.
Funny how that works, right?
A lot of people, we did that at the very, very beginning, which really, really jump-started a lot of our projects that we were in. When we started taking our side serious, labeling it, branding it, flawless, and kind of going down.
When and how did that happen? When exactly were you guys? How did you transition from, okay, these are cool pets for the kids, into, you know what, I'm changing the game. I'm innovating the gecko market and taking it to the level you guys took it to now. Again, you guys do better than anyone else in the game right now. You have turned the gecko market, and I mean that with all due respect to everyone that's out there. I talk to everybody, man. You guys do the marketing, branding, business thing, hands down, without a doubt, no competition, better than anybody else.
Thank you. Really respect that. When we started collecting after buying our initial 4, I still say we just did it out of sheer enjoyment. But when we hit a point of 70, 80 geckos, we started sitting back like what are we about to do? We're doing, bioactive. So when we put our stories out there, because we don't do a whole lot of bioactive now, but we have. So we try, with all the information that we put out, we try not to be judgmental or even come off as sounding judgmental, because you don't want to turn your viewership, your customer base off. You want to let them know, hey, we've done this, and now at whatever level we may be at, it just isn't tangible. It doesn't work for our process now. And we just kind of move on from there. But I would say about 8 years ago from now is when we took it serious. So it was relatively fresh from when we started. Probably a year and a half in collecting geckos and taking every bit of it, with a grain of salt. We're networked with Brian, Altitude Exotics. At that time, we were just customers. Now he's like family. We keep business, and we have, out of our friendship, we really created a family bond that has nothing to do with geckos. And kind of dealt with everything that we encountered that way. We started our Patreon because, again, we reached a level which we will continue to keep striving for, to be flawless. That's kind of the brand behind it. We're not perfect. We know that. We're just trying everything that we touch. We're trying to improve.
Yes.
And again, that could be down. We tell people, hey, if you start with whatever you would categorize as a pet level gecko, there's ways to level up even from there. If you choose to do that, you can just stay there and just enjoy the animals. There's nothing wrong. We want to welcome everyone. I think primarily a lot of breeders that do it as a business, I think, and it's only our opinion, they lose kind of the concept of, listen, all your customers cannot be other breeders. They can't. It's not functional. It's not practical. So you're going to have pet keepers. You're going to have school teachers, which we have school teachers that's been customers.
That's awesome.
You're going to have fellow breeders, and, luckily enough for us, we even have like our mentor, Brian. He's purchased from us several times, which blows our mind. We're like, why would you want something from us?
It's cool though, man. It's got to be flattering.
Awesome.
It's got to be flattering.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it was.
It tells us a lot, because that also,
it's ironically coming on next week too. I didn't.
Oh, really?
I even knew, ironically, you guys went back to back, dude. He's literally the next guest I have on the calendar is Brian.
Well, awesome.
So funny.
Yeah, that story is so crazy. He hates when I tell it, because I asked him, when we first really got going. When I tell you we're family, nothing can mess up our bond. But when we first got going, and we're a returning customer over and over, picking up certain things, pieces of our puzzles that we were working on, I asked him questions here and there, and I asked him, like, do you think it's feasible to do it full time, with nothing else, supplementing? And he's like, no. So I can respect that. You can ask him when you get him on too, because he's probably gonna blush and be a little embarrassed. But
for sure.
The reason being, and I like that we put out videos about that, you want to have a strong circle. And you don't necessarily need it to be in the reptile hobby, but you want a strong circle, someone that's going to keep checks and balances on you, like we do for each other as well. I'm really, really stern, stick to the course, no matter if it takes a million years. And Audra kind of brings me back into the softer side of me, the real world enjoyment. Audra's more of a, hey, I got an idea, we should do this. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not going to work. So we kind of, it's like oil and vinegar in a sense, but it works for us.
Yeah, I tend to be like the dreamer, I guess you would say. I tend to be the one that, like, I'll come up with these ideas that are kind of half-baked, and then he takes them and he's like, okay, yeah, that's a really awesome idea, but it's not functional that way. Let me make it functional.
Right.
So that's kind of how we work out together.
You guys do a great job together too. And again, I mean, I don't say anything to say it, right? I'm too rude. But you guys do things together very well. You complement each other very, very well. You've allowed us into your lives a little, you've allowed us behind the scenes with all your filming and videos. And, again, something you do very well, like I said, is you have built that relationship with the community. You have put yourselves out there, and you guys have, again, out of all the groups and couple breeders out there, you guys clearly have one of the strongest, if not the strongest, bond between two breeders out there working. You guys, you can see your brains working together. You can see the little tits and tats, but the ultimate thing that it evolves into and blooms into. And it's something I'm certain you guys don't do intentionally, but you can it's hard to articulate, but you can see that you guys make a great team, and it's awesome. Happy for you guys. You know, everybody should have a partner in this. My wife hears geckos, and she's in the bedroom with the doors locked. You know, it's like it's a privilege that I'm allowed to keep them. You know,
It's
but
interesting. We went down this lane when we first really got started. You know, Audra's never been a huge reptile person, and I think it's a part of our story as well, because especially snakes. Like, she was definitely afraid of snakes, but being in law enforcement and feeling, I know this is a little off topic and off beat, but feeling like, you know, you're that change. You're gonna kind of change things from the traditional way, let's say, things are run. And even though you may have like a shimmer of hope here and there on your, you know, day-to-day tours or night-to-night tours, I think every person deals with their fill of saying, hey, I've had enough. And you still got to go back over and over and over and face it again and again and again. And we both did that in our own way. We worked for 2 different departments, and worked third shift. So it was really tough kind of dealing with not only people at their worst moment when they need your help, but you also, on third shift, you deal with a lot of nonsense, a lot of nuisance where it's just pointless, you know. And it's like, what are you truly taking all this time away from your loved ones, your kids, you know, spending time together? So when we came into getting into the geckos and building enclosures and doing these things together, whether they were good or horrible when we first got started, we all did it together. We enjoyed it. We named the geckos, we did all these things together. And we just enjoyed it so much. And when we accumulated so much, as far as the numbers wise, it was extremely time consuming. So we continued to research the entire way. We still research now on how to maximize and make ourselves the most efficient at what we do. And that comes from talking with Brian, talking with Wiley and Annette. Every time we vend Tinley, they drive out, come give us hugs. We network with everyone. We try not to outcast anyone. That's why when we put on videos, it's very important, because, you know, you being comfortable doing a video is one thing. You know, I'm weird. Me personally, I'm just never embarrassed. Audra, on the other hand, yeah, I'm just never embarrassed. You know, Audra, on the other hand, she's coming to her own now.
I don't think it's, for me, it's not really embarrassment per se. It's more, I don't really care to be in front of the camera.
Right.
I'm not really, I'm more of a behind the scenes type of person, like to make the nuts and the bolts happen. Or I like to put the nuts and the bolts together so that things can happen. And that's so he does really well with like putting it out of his mouth. Like the way he articulates a lot of things, it makes perfect sense to the world. And for me, I'm inside of myself. I'm in my brain a lot of the times. Yes. And so I'm more of a tactile person. I like to put my hands on things. I like to do things. And so it's hard for me to express verbally how, you know, we work together or what we do on a regular basis. It's funny because we'll do these diamond series for our YouTube channel. And a lot of times I'm like, okay, this gecko is X, Y, and Z. And he's like, you've got to
elaborate.
Like, tell everything that's in your brain. And I'm like, ping, pong, 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 pong.
It's all over the place.
And I'm like, I can't get it out of my mouth. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on inside of there that I just can't get out of my mouth. And he does so well with that. So I a lot of times I will just kind of hang back, do whatever needs to be taken care of behind the camera, and let him kind of shine in that spot because he is so good at the articulation.
You guys know that. You know, that's one of the greatest things is there's no competition. You know each other's strengths and you know how to exploit each other's strengths, you know. You know what you do behind the scenes and you know how to get it out to the people. It's again, it's something that you can't just make. Like it's a true chemistry that you guys have. And
thank you.
Again, God bless you, man, because it's awesome. It's literally awesome to watch what you guys do and how you do it so strategically and consistently. And I mean, it is very Fortune 500-esque. It's like, I mean, you guys, I hope you guys know what you do. I mean, obviously this is part of the plan, you know. I mean, obviously
Right.
you guys, I mean, I hope you take some time back to reflect on what you guys have achieved. You know, you went from 4 pet store geckos to entertain the kids to like the it gecko company, you know,
Right.
like you are like a legit brand, you know.
Yes.
Thank
It's
you.
Thank you so much.
super cool. I mean, I even watch like some of your displays. You put the geckos out on the little fake diamonds and stuff. I mean, like you guys do things that nobody like, and not to like that I would ever compare myself to you guys, but I see some things and I'm like, damn, why didn't I think of that? Or damn, why can't, you know, like it's
We do the same thing
it's
with Brian.
Yeah, we're doing the same thing.
I'm like, dude, why didn't I think of that?
very inspirational, and you guys do it in a non-smug way, which is something I really love about you. You don't do it like and I hate to say this, and I'm not talking ill about anybody, but some people do that. Well, I'm doing this, you should do this type of thing. You guys do not. You make everything feel achievable to anybody that could be watching you guys, man. And that's
Yes.
an art in itself. That's an art in itself to really be better and levels above other people, but still humble yourselves to make other people relate. Like it's
But that's extremely
another
important.
talent.
Yeah.
That's
We've
extremely
we've said
important.
it time and time again. If two, police officers that was passing each other in the hallway and hardly speaking to each other, more like grunting at each other at a time, like can turn their lives completely upside down and around and actually create something like this, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
You just have to legitimately. That's really a big reason why we started the Patreon, because we do have this kind of, I guess, knowledge base now,
Hmm.
and we know what it takes to do it. So it's like, if we can kind of give that in addition to our YouTube channel, you can go to YouTube, you can go to our Flawless Exotic Creations and hear a lot of the business aspect side of things. But even in the Cresteds, we try to do a lot of business aspect of that, and that is our Patreon
Right.
for these guys that do have that same dream. And we want them to understand that, yes, you can do it. There
Right.
are a lot of detours, roadblocks, there are a lot of potholes that you're going to get stuck in, and you may
Hmm.
get stuck in them for months at a time, but you just got to keep pushing and keep going, because if we can do it,
Oh
so
yeah.
can you.
There's going to be a lot of questions too that come up that you don't have the answers to. That you're going to want to seek out the answers. And I mean, the answers are out there. And if they aren't, I mean, eventually you'll figure it out. That's pretty much how we deal with everything that we face. Especially on the business side, we've owned businesses before, but now, having this as the primary business, there's, this tricky thing out there, standards of operation. How are you going to run your business? A lot of that is very iffy on where to find the information and who has experienced some of these things. Again, because in this niche, it's not a lot of breeders that do it full time. And that's just the facts. And the difference between the two is you got to figure out how to have a sustainable business, and keep the overhead low, and make a substantial living and be able to pay yourself or whatever it may be and continue your day to day. Now, if you're doing it as a hobby, there's a completely different lane. You can say, I'm going to take a year off. I'm not going to produce anything, and I'm just going to care for my babies, and I'm not even going to post any content. But as you guys probably already know, it's like, it's almost like a passing of the torch. Every year and a half, it's like a completely different group of people that come into the hobby. And we love it, So it took us a long time, but we knew in the forefront of things, we're like, listen, this is going to take a while. We've told stories. We would have a website release because we still have a .com website. And we had a website release where you would do 20 something, 30 hours of work getting all these geckos loaded and crickets.
I bet.
Not a
I bet.
website hit
Yeah,
in
not even a
sight.
hit.
I mean, probably 3 or 4 times we
Yeah.
did that, ramping up, and just trying
But
to
you
promote.
cannot let it get you
Right.
down. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, obviously everybody has, and that's kind of where we have this thing where, I'm able to express emotions a little bit more than what he does. And so it's
For men.
okay. It's
Yeah.
okay to feel disappointed. It is. It's just not okay to stay that way.
Right.
Like you've got to, okay, let's shake it off. Let's rewind and let's get back to the drawing board and just continuously do what will eventually work.
Right.
It's like there's a picture, and I see it a lot of times. It'll scroll through my feeds and things like that. It's the two men that are in this hole, and they've got like a pitchfork or a pick, and they're digging through a big wall of dirt, right? And legitimately, neither one of them see what's on the other side, but we can see what's on the other side. And you see that they're both so close, and the one quits, and then the other gets through because he
Right.
just keeps on digging, And so it's just like, you just got to keep on digging.
I've
That's
actually witnessed it with you guys, not for nothing, but like I've I kind of remember your guys beginning. I've always been in this in like the the pet sector. Just always enjoyed it from a distance, and I've kind of watched your evolution. And when you guys started, I would always be like, why aren't these guys taking off more? Like, why? Like, what's going on here? Like, these guys should be doing a lot more. This person over here, and again, not comparing anybody, but this
right.
person over here has 13,000 followers, and they're not doing half of what they're doing. Like, what the hell is going on here? Like, but I guess it's just like something nobody has any control over, and it's those algorithms and the consistency that you have to somehow put this effort and consistency into these interwebs in order to get them to share your information. And now it's finally started to happen. And I don't even think you guys are close to what I know
Right.
you're going to be. Like
Right.
you guys are
Thank
like
you.
will
Thank you.
dominate as far as numbers and everything very soon. It's
Thank you.
it's just a time game, unfortunately. But
Definitely is.
Yeah.
you do it well. You guys are absolutely more consistent than anyone else. I mean, maybe again, because you're full time and it shows. Like you're clearly, again, like I said earlier, a brand. Like you are an it company. Like Flawless is established. You guys are. That's it. You guys. I mean, it's. So now I guess it is just time, and you will keep growing. What's the name of the company? What's his name? Jake or Jack? He has like a something Geckos. He does all the live online reptile shows. He has like an orange logo. Damn, what the hell's his name? He goes to the show. He has like a bunch of trailers. He goes to the shows and sets up like 15 different tables.
Junkie.
Yeah, he's a
Gecko
buddy of
Junkie.
mine. Yeah,
You're
Gecko.
like, you are like Gecko Junkie at his prime. You
Right.
guys haven't even gotten there yet. Like, and you will be. And not for nothing. I'm not talking smack about him. Think what he does is great, but he's kind of like fell off, kind of, like whatever he's doing, he's not as, at least on the internet, he's not as big of a presence as you used to see. Gecko Junkie everything and everywhere. You guys are now that. You guys have taken that spot and are now like the it brand. And again, maybe he's not doing as much as he used to, or maybe you guys are just doing more. Who knows? But like, you guys are definitely popping up on more things. You're doing more, and I believe that's to the your persistence. And unfortunately, I feel like if you stop for just a little bit as a full time company, it could do some damage to you.
Yes, it
But
can. It
let's
absolutely
talk
can.
about your Patreon. See, I don't know anything about Patreon, but I always hear about Flawless Crested Gecko's Patreon. What is Patreon? What do you guys do? For all of us out here that don't know anything about it, what exactly is it, and what do you guys offer, and how does it work, if you don't mind?
Okay.
Yeah.
So Patreon is another social media platform.
So it is a whole
There,
platform.
yes, it's a whole platform.
It's a whole platform.
Now,
It's comprised of different creators who have obviously their own profiles, their own space on the platform, and you can sign up as a user of Patreon, as a patron of any of these creators for free. And then those creators also have the ability to create tier systems within
Right.
their Patreon that is a subscription base. like for us, we have, of course, you can sign up for the free, to follow us for free. And then we also have 2 tiers. We have a $50 per month tier and a $100 per month tier. If
Okay.
you want to.
That's what I always hear you guys talking about. Yeah. So I didn't even know. I'm literally, I feel like an idiot. Like
No, it's
I just learned about Discord. We just got a sponsor from Happy Dragons, this company, and they do all this thing on Discord. And I'm like, what the hell is Discord?
yep.
Like,
We have
Yeah.
a
it's a whole
Discord
little
community.
thing now. I got another
Whole
app
thing.
for another social.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You kind of have to stay hip with the times. Unfortunately, there's always something new.
Takes me 30 minutes to turn his laptop on.
Oh man. So, when we first started, before we dig too deep on the core of Patreon, when we first started, we got into the lily whites as well as the exantics at the time, and they were very, very expensive, and we were buying them a lot. So we thought about then.
We ate a lot of ramen.
Definitely ate a lot of ramen. And when we at that point, we were like, you know what? When we have any success at this, we're gonna figure out a way to kind of give back.
Yep.
So first few years, we started doing a lily white giveaway. At the height of lily whites, we were giving away a lily white. Oftentimes 2 and 3 lily whites.
Yes.
And it's kind of graduated past that to the point of, we gathered such a strong following, and we would get messages, on Instagram and almost a way like complaints as far as about YouTube. We love YouTube, but the difference with YouTube, you can be a little bit more opinionated and directional on Patreon because of the paywall. It gets a kind of like a black eye in a sense, but a lot of different creators use it, and it's for this purpose anyway. You have a lot of people, I'm sure, that come to your channel, come to our channel, and they're either bots or they're just trolls, and I mean, they literally mean no one well.
No.
It's pointless. And with Patreon, you don't have that.
No.
You just legitimately don't have that.
These patrons of ours are our biggest supporters.
Trying to pick your brain.
And they want to know how they can, get to that next level. Or they may be, we have a lot of people that love our geckos that may not necessarily be like business oriented, want to do the business, but they have a side hustle or a hobby. And we allow our Patreon members to use their subscription for Gecko purchases.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So, from what I gather, you put it towards their.
Yes.
You're basically, in theory, giving them a gecko, right? Like you get your subscription, but you're getting. I kind of understand that from when you guys talk about it, and that's just so generous alone in itself.
And there's fees associated for the platform user side, and we eat those fees. Yeah. So if somebody has a $50 membership, you may be getting.
I think we get like $44.
Yeah, so we get charged $6 of that every time. So $12 for the $100. We eat that. So the people out there doing numbers, if we get one guy or one girl that does $100 membership, then we only get $88 of that.
But you're getting
we turn around and give the whole $100.
Yeah.
Because the platform charges that to continue to exist.
It's kind of messed up. I understand how it works, but it's like it's not. They're not really for the creator if they're taking that much. That's a significant amount. A 20 spot off 100. You can't break 100. Break 100 is gone.
We thought about that, and then with our other business, Flawless Exotic Creations, we have 2 different YouTube channels, and we're monetized quickly on that one. It was insane. And then we're making good money over there, but the craziest thing is YouTube takes half of everything. I never knew that. Yeah.
They take a ton.
So if you get a super chat that's, $50 or $20, they take half of it. So we're like, oh, Patreon's not that bad.
Yeah.
So I know nothing about any of that stuff. I host another podcast, the Gecko Exchange with my buddy Jason, and he deals with all that. Like, people do some of that money stuff, but I don't really care about money. I do this, like I said, for people and whatnot. But so I never really put much attention or effort or energy into knowing about certain things I just don't care about, but to hear that it's kind of like breaks my heart for you guys. I mean, to do all the work and they do nothing, I mean, it's brilliant on their behalf, not for nothing. Like, let these talented people do what they do, and we're just gonna tax
Right.
them. Like,
Well, they're
Oh yeah.
smart. They're
They're
very
definitely
smart.
smart.
damn.
Definitely.
So what? So what is? I mean, not for nothing, but I'm. My wife is so against snakes, and she told me that if I ever came home with one, that she'd have my stuff outside for me. So I like don't even like try to trick myself into looking at snakes. But what is flaw? What's your other? What have you guys set out on? What's this other venture you guys got? Tell
Well,
us.
so I actually told Will that if he didn't get because at first when he first like started doing the reptiles, he had actually gotten, I guess it was a Crebo for the boys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for the
Black
boys.
Sabrevo.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I said, listen, you have brought Satan into our home. If you don't get it out of our home, you and the snake are going to be the funky smell in the attic. As it's out. But it took me going to shows, going to reptile shows, and actually vending reptile shows right beside these other vendors because I mean, across the board, ball pythons are the most popular animal at these reptile
Right.
shows. They're snake shows. And so just seeing them over and over and over again and seeing these businesses like Bob's Balls and
Yes.
Black Diamond. Black Diamond was a big one. He's Aaron Mathis and Chachi, his wife. They're just super great people. They were so welcoming, and Da Vinci Boa. That just all of them were so welcoming that we just. I don't know. It helped me out a lot to get comfortable being around them, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. I'll be honest, I was not a fan. And at first when he brought them, I said, I can't. I'm just like petrified of them. And it's like he really worked with me. He really took his time. He worked with me and he's like, look, this is our next step. This is what is going to help us continue to live the life that we want to live.
Right.
To continue to spend time together, to continue to build a bond together, to continue this, this journey in reptiles, period. And
Talented
so
man. Well,
I just kind of got with the program. Like it is what it is. Like I trust him. That's the thing. Like I think you have to have, as far as being in a relationship with, with your significant other or whatnot, you have to have trust. There has to be trust. If there's not trust there, there's nothing. And so I trust that he's not going to take us anywhere we don't need to be. So I just kind of like, I don't know, I'm in his corner like all the
yeah,
time.
that's
I guess
awesome.
you
That's
would say
beautiful.
that.
That's
I
beautiful.
mean, don't get me wrong, I want to choke him half the time. I don't know if you saw that most recent. I like want to choke him constantly. And sometimes like a good throat punch, just when he gets sassy. But I'm absolutely a rider for him.
How is
So
it? How has it been working out for you guys? Has it
Really
been
good.
successful? Is it?
yes.
Very, very,
Yeah.
very
It's
successful.
amazing what people. I grew up in the '80s, man, and ball pythons were $40, man. They were a dime a dozen at every pet shop, just a regular. Who knows? Half were probably wild call, whatever. But to just I stepped away from those type of snakes. I had berms and retics and anacondas, green anacondas and stuff for a long time, but I never really paid attention to ball pythons, and I wasn't in an area where I was going to shows. When they came back on my radar and I saw what they had went to, I was blown away. I was blown away at what they've managed to do. When I stopped looking at them, I think they had just discovered an albino gene, right? Like that was
Wow.
like the last and only morph there was regulars, albinos. Never saw a ball python again. I went to the White Plains show over my
Oh,
local
yeah.
show in New York over here, and I saw these tables, and I'm like, I thought there were some like giant corn snakes from a distance. I'm like, what the hell are those things? Like, wow. And the money that people spend on them,
Oh,
and
yeah.
the businesses and brands people have built around them, despite how many there are. There can be 100,000 ball python companies. If you come onto the scene with a plan, some cool genes, and a few marketing skills, you could dominate, man. Like it
That's what we're attempting.
amazes me.
that's
It
what we're attempting
amazes
to
me.
do.
Yep.
We have a plan. There is
Good
a
for
master
you
plan.
guys.
Yeah, the
Good for
first
you guys.
show we vended with the Crested Geckos, actually Audra was still working in law enforcement at the time, and she
Mhm.
couldn't get off. And it was our daughter and myself, and we vended right next to Bob Vu. So I was able to pick his brain the entire show, and dig deeper. Now we're friends. You know, we've been out to his compound over there, watched him at his new facility
Boy,
and
he's got a
his
nice
growth. We've
setup.
been to Dominican Republic on a ball python retreat,
Mhm.
with Bob Vu.
He was like this last show we did was the All American
Yeah.
Reptile Plant and Reptile Expo, I guess it is in Charlotte. And he
I hear
came
good
up.
things
He's like,
about that
"Why?"
show.
He said, "Why are you not on a plane to Japan with
Yeah, we're
us
supposed to be
in
going
2
to
weeks?" I'm
Japan. We're like,
like,
oh, we can't.
"Uh,
We got a wedding and everything.
yeah, yep." So,
Wow. See the doors that these things open
Oh
up?
yeah,
yep.
definitely.
Even
And
just like you
people,
were
they see
talking
you
about earlier, the
when you're working these
relationships and how it's
projects. Yeah,
built your family,
you
man.
have
Like
to.
these
Yeah.
aren't just reptiles, man.
Mhm.
These things can do so much, man. The people,
Yeah,
myself personally, the people I've met and through reptiles that I've built relationships with on things other than reptiles, it's like it wouldn't happen any other way. It wouldn't
right.
happen any other way.
No, our
Definitely.
life would not be
No.
this if it weren't for them. That's why we say all the time, like, I can't understand how anybody would think of not caring the best possible they could for these animals,
Absolutely.
because they're what provides us with these opportunities. I mean, it just makes no sense not to take care of them to the best of your
True.
ability.
It's a
A
lot
lot,
of
a
what
lot comes
ifs.
with
Yeah.
planning as well, and the numbers. We have a lot of crested geckos. Yes, we can, put a ton, 800,000 crested geckos up for sale at one point. But what's the point in doing that? That's not a part of our strategy. It's not a part of our plan. We've literally devised a plan to, once we hatch out, we plan on. I think it's somewhere around 1,000 babies this year.
Mhm.
But we never sell those babies from this year until we look at them next year in detail, see if this is what we're hitting, what we need to move forward. And now we're releasing a year behind, if anything. So the stuff that we released this year is from last year.
If you
I'm just
see,
trying to
Brilliant,
move off of.
brilliant
yeah,
technique.
if you see us release a baby
Mhm.
to anyone, that is less than half a percent of the time that we'll do
Right.
that, and you have to be looking for something
Yeah.
very specific. 9 times out of 10, it's a Patreon
Yeah,
member.
we'll go look in for
Mm.
special stuff. See, so what we did with that, I'm sure you're very probably familiar with this. There is no rule of thumb or generally speaking like a standard guideline to go by. So we tried to do it within our own company of having some type of guideline. You run into a problem, you figure out what's the solution and hopefully not run into that problem again. Selling babies was one of them. And people send us messages, hey, check this out. We look at everything people send us. And we're like, man, look at this. This is a killer gecko. This is awesome. Who you get it from? They're like, you. They were like, wait a minute. We're letting go hold back animals. So we changed that and stopped letting, those animals go so early.
Because we always say you are your number one
Yes.
customer. So you shop for yourself first with your collection, with your offspring.
Yep.
And then after you've already shopped, then you can start to release.
Sure.
Then you run
guys
into
know
the
Gecko
issue.
Monster? You know who Gecko Monster is? Mauricio. He's a big garg breeder, but I interviewed him, and he's a pretty big name in the gargoyle world. But I asked him, like at the end of the podcast, like, what's your biggest piece of advice? And he was like, you never sell your best shit. Like,
Absolutely.
and it's been ringing. It rings and rings and rings in my head. So many people get caught up like, oh, I got the parents that made them. I'll make another one. Don't worry about it. I'm taking the sale.
Yeah.
Like,
do that a
you're
lot.
foolish, man. You're foolish. Don't take that sale.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's brilliant when you guys do. I mean, I think it should be like, in all honesty, I mean, it should be something that everybody implements in their own collections. Like, we all know how much these things change, right? Like, no baby usually stays the way it was as a baby, as an adult. And you're going to sell this thing by, a couple of grams, and this thing turns into a rock star by the time it's a year old and almost 30 grams. You're going to be kicking yourself in the butt, man. And that could be your future. That animal could have been your future. And not for nothing, you get more money, in my opinion, for older, closer to ready to breed animals.
Because you could determine whether they're male or female. That was the other obstacle you run into. Okay, if this was 3 years ago or so, and 3 or 4 years ago, and here it is, we're selling a 10-gram, visual Exantic for $10,000. Price does matter. So here it is, you buy that, you have a small collection. It doesn't matter how much money is expendable for you to spend. But if you buy that animal from us and now, it was a probable female and now you grow it out for the next 6 months and at 25 grams, it drops hemipenes, you're sitting there like, what am I going to do with this? Because I didn't need that, and now you're having to double back and you're losing time. You already spent a crap ton of money. So that was another issue you will run into. I'm sorry, there is a huge difference between being gifted a gecko that you may need or buying a gecko for $50, $100 that you need that ends up being the opposite sex of what you need versus something that's an investment animal, that someone's investing in. So again, these are the steps that we took to build our standards on what we wanted to move forward with.
Yes.
It's awesome. You're doing the customer a favor. Like
Right.
I hope most people know that, but that's a huge solid that you're doing for your consumer, like we are giving you, and then the whole, progression thing, sometimes they don't always progress for the better. Let's
Exactly.
be honest,
Yep.
So you're doing them a solid by saying, here, wait till the animal's this old. We'll offer them to you at this size. I mean, it's a win-win situation. Whose idea?
Definitely.
Who's taking credit for it? Which one of you two's idea was this?
Well, so I'll give you a little. Years ago, we sold 2 of our absolutely gorgeous high white crested geckos, and they were sold as probable females because we did not see any pores. Well, then when it got to said country, because it was not going to anywhere in this country, it was going to another country. When it finally got there, and time passed a little bit, all of a sudden we've got a male off of one of them. And again, it was still young, still not somewhere where we would have guaranteed sex of the animal, period. And we were very clear about that, but still we had a little bit of a unhappy person. And I was like, I told him, I said, because again, I'm like emotional as it pertains to that. And he's so logical. He's like, look, this is what we're doing. This is how we are going to handle this particular situation.
And this is how we're going to move forward.
We did great. Everything went great. Actually, that customer still randomly had contacted us after that, wanting to do more business with us or whatnot. But that being said, after that experience, I said, no more.
Right.
I said, we won't sell probable anything. They will be either, at that particular time, I said that it will either be unsexed or these just won't be for sale until they are confirmed. And so, and so he said, well, let's just not do unsexed, period. Let's just start cycling. And so we just kind of, made that firm decision back then, and it's just worked out really well for us.
Awesome. Do you guys find any trouble housing that many babies though? Like, I'm sure you're going to get backed up, have a lot of animals.
We did.
We did.
We had, we have a decent sized house, and we had them everywhere throughout the house. They were on the dining room table. They were in about 3 different bedrooms. It was crazy. The bathroom, the second bathroom was our incubator.
We said at that time, is that okay? We either we have to sell off some, or B, if we're going to take this to the next level, obviously we've got to we need something to put them in. We need a facility.
And then we looked at the traditional storefronts, and the overhead was just insane. So we opted for the kind of the one-time buy it as yours.
Did it the right way. Did a good job with it too. I watched you guys put it together, man. You guys did a beautiful job. I'm a carpenter by trade. That's what I do.
Oh, nice.
You guys did a great job.
Thank you so much. It's all YouTube.
Yep.
YouTube.
I tell people all the time, man. I go to customers' house to fix things for my company sometimes, and I'm like, you could have saved yourself like $700 and just watched a YouTube video and did this yourself. Like, you got me out here doing this, which I'm getting paid, so I'm not going to lie to you people. I'm going to fix your broken whatever, but you could have did this way, man.
Look, we just saved $4,000 by changing our own hot water heater out.
Oh yeah.
Man,
You
you get
do.
yourself some shark bite fittings, man. You don't even need to sweat a pipe anymore, bro. You
That's
don't need
the
to-
truth. It was like, I think like $750 with all the fittings and everything.
With everything.
You know, the hot water heater, everything was about $750, and they were trying to charge us over $4,000.
Over
I said, yeah,
$4,000 to
no.
do it.
Expensive. It's
Wow.
Yep.
expensive. And see, you guys did it. Saved yourself
Oh,
money.
yeah.
You guys,
Oh,
not
yeah.
for nothing, not to get off topic, but if you checked out hot water heaters, you should check out InstaHots. You ever heard of InstaHots?
The gas hot water heaters on demand
hot water on
system.
demand.
Yeah.
The hot water on
really?
demand. Yo,
Yeah.
they have electric ones, and I guess they have gas ones, but they're super
Mhm.
cheap. And a lot of the customers' houses I've been working in lately, everybody's been swapping and going from hot water heaters to InstaHots. You don't have to store
Mhm.
heat. You're not heating a 50-gallon tank of water all the time. It heats the water as you use it.
That's actually what we have in the facility. We have an electric one in the
Yeah.
facility,
There you
but
go.
whenever we move, we want
Planning on
some
building
property, and
again.
when we build again, everything will have instant.
They're
We'll have an
awesome.
on-demand systems for
Game
everything.
changer. What did you guys run for water out in your facility? Do you have like how are you spraying? Do you mist or use water? Do you have like a hose system, or because like I'm constantly running my room is in my house. I'm constantly running back to a sink, and I hate myself every day. I got to go back and forth to a sink, back and forth to a sink.
I just actually dug the trench, and we actually have running water and everything in the facility.
Yeah, but as far as
Maybe
like,
I do remember seeing you running the
Yeah.
conduit for. I thought that was electrical. Okay.
no,
Awesome.
and our facility is completely humidity controlled, so we don't
Yeah.
mist at all.
Yeah, we don't miss it at all.
There's just
Awesome.
no need for it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Because we have humidifier and dehumidifier. It's all on a smart system to where
Yep.
when one needs to start, the other one, will stop, and vice versa.
What company? If you don't mind me asking, what brand did you guys use for your like? I
Medea.
use Govee. I have a totally different thing, but I'm blown away with how this technology works. Like I have little sensors and a humidifier and a air purifier and a
Yep.
thing in my incubator, and these things all send my phone notifications. I got air sensor monitors and stuff. I'm like, what the hell? This technology is crazy.
We have several. We have several, and everything we went with. We literally checked everything out. We wanted to make sure it was Wi-Fi enabled. If not, we were able to go old school and go analog with something where it's just an on-off switch, and you just kind of flip it on and then plug it into a Wise outlet, which
Mhm.
now you make it. So
Smart.
we had to either go that route or super sophisticated, but some of the brand names that we used was Medea, Midea, with the dehumidification, and you can actually hook up a drain hose to it because it empties
yeah,
into a
big joint,
huge,
yeah.
I want to say 5-gallon tub reservoir where you have to dump it, but we don't have to because we just went with a direct line into the sink. So now it can pull the humidity out of the air and right into the drain, and I want to say it's air care for the humidifier to put the humidity into the air. We have that, which we don't have to use too often because when we cut our dehumidifier off, the way the facility is built with no windows and everything, the humidity starts, especially with the heat that's being created in there, starts to increase.
Yeah.
So it's actually been a really, really good design for it.
Yeah, that was really good because we don't have to worry about humidity hardly at all. And in fact, it's just, especially since the hurricane, we haven't had to run that humidifier at all. Like it hasn't
Only
really
here
put
and
on
there.
only
Awesome.
Only here and there.
hardly ever.
Yeah, and then we have we also have the Govee units as well. Several of those around in incubators, trying to make sure that we know what the actual humidity and temps are, just in case, hey, if this alarm goes off, we're not getting any power. So we have all these different kind of warnings in place for us.
We have our security system set up too. We have cameras. People probably think, Lord, what are they doing?
Motion activated.
Because that's awesome. It's awesome.
Like
all angles are covered.
Back here. Yeah. We have like 5 different views inside of the facility too, so that we can make sure everything is just kosher all the time, every angle.
Plus,
speaking of security, there you go. Speaking of security, I did another podcast last night with BB's Crested Geckos.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, we were talking about, unfortunately, some animals that got taken at some
Mhm.
shows. So we were talking about like using why I thought I was like came up with this brilliant idea, and I was like, "Yo, get some wireless cameras and put them on your table." He's like, "Yeah, I got a bunch of them." I'm like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah.
do that.
I tried. But have you guys experienced unfortunately, any bull crap like that at shows? Anybody doing
Oh,
anything like that?
No, we haven't.
no,
Breaks my
we
heart to
haven't.
hear it. It's only been like the last couple months, and I'm like, damn.
But truth be told, you really can't, like, as far as you can't slide anything off of our tables because all of our displays are locked down.
Right.
So unless you have the keys to our specific displays, when you would be like a vendor coming and stealing things, which is chances are that's not going
Yeah,
to be the
that ain't
case,
gonna
you know.
happen.
And for
Yeah.
us,
It's
it's
cool.
kind of tough too because we do have the luxury of having both of us there, or sometimes we
Yeah.
have our kids there too. So
Yeah,
it'll
Yeah.
be
there you
both of
go.
us plus our
So we're
kids.
Which I think
watching.
is
We're
huge
very
too.
observant.
People should always have. I mean, and I don't vend, so I can't tell anybody, but I do have an interesting perspective as a consumer, right? Like I talk to a lot of people that vend, but I do nothing but buy. And it's a terrible look when you go to a table and there's no one there. Like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it
We're big
drives
on
me
that.
up a wall where I'm like, if I
Yes.
see it and I want it, and I'm not trying to sound smug by any means, but I don't care what the price is. I want it now. Here's the money. I'm not haggling on the price. Give me what I want. And when
Oh
there's
yeah.
no one there and I can't get what I want, I get in my feelings, right? Like now I'm off to go buy something from your competitor just because you weren't there. And I,
We've received that as well.
Hmm.
People come and they'll tell us the story and
Or
come and buy.
Or when
So
we
yeah.
preach this to our Patreon members all the time, and this shouldn't be, anything groundbreaking, but if you are behind a table, you're there to do a job. You're
Right.
not there to just sit and twiddle your thumbs and look at your phone. You need to speak. You need to be friendly.
Yes.
You need to put a smile on your face. It
your
doesn't matter what's
brand,
going on in your life outside of that moment.
That's very
your
important,
brand. Oh
especially
yeah.
with being from different walks of life. Like, it's been an adjustment for me. I'm originally from Newark, New Jersey.
Yeah, and
So
he's rude.
Okay. Okay.
I'm from up north. But
He's
when I
rude
come
and abrupt.
Yes. I'm
it's
from
a
Westchester
little, it's a
County, man. I
little.
grew up in the Bronx, man. We're
Oh,
rude.
Okay, I played football in the
Honest.
Bronx.
Honest.
Yeah, so it's a different, almost a culture, shock when you go to different regions of the U.S.
mhm.
When I first moved down here, you walking down, out of the supermarket and someone, hey, how you doing? And people I'm like, that's weird. What do you mean it's
What?
weird? I'm like, you don't talk to people unless you know them.
See, down in the South, like, it's funny because I would go up to New York and I'd just be like, "Hi, how are you? Hi," and then people were
They're
like,
looking like you're nuts.
"What the
Yeah.
heck is this girl doing? Like, why is she talking to me like this?" I'm like, I'm just like, "Well, y'all are rude."
See,
That's
But
funny.
yes, but I
That's
told
funny.
him, I said, "Listen, you came down here. So you need to assimilate. You need to smile and be nice."
I've done well.
He
I've done
has.
It's
well.
He
it's
does.
it's I get it. It's a culture shock, like Will said. It's something, it takes
Yeah.
a little bit for us to adapt to, Audrey. We gotta we're on our guard all the time. We're processing things
Yeah.
that have yet to
It's
happen.
funny. It's funny
We are
because I say it.
analyzing what is yet to happen, so we know how to
Yep.
handle it 4 ways before it even does.
Yeah,
It's
And
living
I
up there
say
and
it all
keeping
the
on your
time.
toes.
I say it all the time. I don't know how we manage to
yeah.
end up together because, I'm just out there friendly and talking to anybody and everybody and smiling, and he is
How'd you
just
guys
not
meet? How'd you
in the
guys
gym.
meet?
In the gym. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll do it. That'll do it. Yeah, so I heard you talk. Well, you see bodybuilding and stuff.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding.
Yep. Bodybuilding. Yep. I was
Respectable.
getting ready to go on stage and she was putting the oil on me and fell in love.
Here we go.
There you go.
Here
I
we
trained
go
for
with
years, man, years. I never competed, but my life was the gym, man. I still have a couple certs. I was training for personal training for years, man. Had my ACE, my NFPT. But when they
Okay.
changed the CPR certification over and they went to chest compressions. They bypassed the whole mouth to mouth thing. I never went and renewed my stuff. I was making a lot more money swinging a hammer, so I just
Mm-hmm.
never went back. I mean, I lift daily. It's a lifestyle. It's not
Right. It has
it
to
ain't
be.
just something you do. But I mean, it's that's got to have helped you with the business thing too, huh?
Oh
Training
yeah.
and discipline. I mean, people
Oh
that
yeah.
Oh,
train and
yeah,
it's a
I,
people should
I'm
really implement it
definitely
more,
hard to
man.
deal with.
honey. It's like I'm training with Kai Green or forget
There
Definitely
you
hard to
go.
deal with.
There you
or who
go.
was that? Ronnie Coleman over here.
Big Ronnie. Dan. It's a damn shame too. Have you seen Ronnie lately?
Yeah.
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 Oh, not even just him. I've seen videos of Lee Priest, man. Man, these dudes are walkers and wheelchairs, and
Yeah.
it's a damn, man. It breaks my heart, man. But I tell people, now I'm 40 years old, and it's like I lift to live. All them 4 plates, 3 plates, all that stuff is dead, man.
I'm still
That's
doing that. I was just squatting
that's
500 pounds. What, two days
Oh,
ago?
you're younger than me, though, right?
he's
How old are you? You're way younger.
42.
42.
Are you? No shit.
Yeah, he'll be 43 in August. Trust me, I
God
don't let him
bless,
forget
man.
that he's older than me.
God bless.
But he like his thing is that it doesn't matter really how much
Right.
you lift, it's how many reps
Right.
that you
If I
For
get,
can't
sure.
you
do
know?
reps with it,
If he can't do reps with it, he's
For
if
not
I'm
gonna
sure.
do it.
repping like 500,
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
form, concentration, muscle concentration. It's I get a better workout. I'm not trying to brag, but I get a better workout in the gym with some 35-pound dumbbells than 90% of these fools over here bouncing 3 plates off their chest. Like it's you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing. The discipline rolls over in life.
Yeah.
Healthy lifestyle lead to, and I'm a big advocate, man. A healthy lifestyle lead to a healthy everything, businesses, work, relationships. I mean, you know how you feel. You roll out of the gym at 8 o'clock in the morning. You already
Mhm.
accomplished more than 90% of the world has before the sun
Oh
comes
yeah.
up. It's like it's a gladiator feeling, man. You feel like a warrior, man. Like there's nothing you can't achieve.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, I'm definitely
Sure.
one that internalizes a lot of that. I get on her nerves with that, because I have this thing where it's like, yep, you did that, okay, yeah, nobody cares, do more. So
Yeah.
and that's how we kind of live life by. It's so hard to deal with, I know, but
Yeah, I'll be over here. Look what I did. I did this,
I'm
and
like,
look at the
cool.
kids. The kids did this,
I'm
or
like, nobody
one of
cares.
them did. One of them lifted, like made a PR for themselves or whatever. And I'm like over here, Mom. I'm like, Mom.
That's
I'm so
awesome.
happy for him, and
That's
that's
awesome.
awesome. And he's like, Yeah, nobody cares. Do it
And
again.
it's funny though, because the boys, they'll come and they'll be like, yeah, Dad, he showed me this, he showed me that. And they love, the results. They love the training and everything. And they're like, this is how I'm more harder on myself and my family than outsiders.
Oh yeah,
So with
Should
my,
be.
with my kids, I'm
Should
like,
be.
look, yeah, you did that. Yeah, well, you're supposed to. You're supposed to be
There you
successful.
go. Should
If
be.
you're not successful, then it's a failure. Do more work harder, plan better. So I'm definitely a big advocate of not a whole lot of congratulations. I'll
No
leave that for our
participation awards, man. No
Oh my
participation
God,
awards,
I
man.
no,
hate
I don't. I'm
No
it.
down with the
participation awards.
participation
Yeah,
award.
you're raising men, and you're doing it right. Well, not for nothing, but you guys are raising good.
Thank
I
you.
really got to commend you on that because you
Thank
are
you.
doing a phenomenal job raising men. Ain't no
Thank you.
participation awards. You're teaching loyalty. You're teaching all types of things. Loyalty, to the family, the business, disciplines with everything, the businesses and responsibilities and everything
Absolutely.
that comes, involved. You guys, every time you guys are always together, from what I see on social media, and
Yeah.
it's, again, beautiful. They're picking up on all that. They're learning all that. You're keeping these kids off the street. You're keeping them learning and
Yeah.
doing the things they're
Yeah.
supposed to be doing, and they're developing, man. They're going to be incredible adults.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful thing, man. You
Thank
guys
you.
are doing
Thank
a
you.
great job
Appreciate you.
for
Yes.
sure. What are some plans? What do you guys got planned for the future of Flawless, man? If it's not anything too top secret, man, what do you guys got up your sleeves?
No, not too top secret. We'll be doing Daytona
Mhm.
as far as a show down in Florida, Daytona, Florida. Then we'll do every Tinley.
We have sort of a consistent schedule as it pertains to shows. We do 2 Tinleys a year, the March and October show. We do the Daytona show in August, and then we do Charlotte twice a year, and then Bob's show in Atlanta twice a year.
Right.
You
Then
guys
on
are
the
all
social
over down
media.
there.
Oh yeah,
What
Yeah.
big
about
time.
Flora-Fauna? Did you guys go to Flora-Fauna this
We
year?
didn't go to. We haven't been to Flora-Fauna yet.
It hasn't been able to logically work out for us.
Yeah, just
It's
yet.
a
We're
troop for
planning
you
on it.
guys, yeah. I went the second year.
It's a beautiful show. Gabby
I was
has
there the
really
second
helped me.
year I went up there. It is. It's an experience. I don't know how to explain it because it's not like a typical show. I hate to say it. I don't want to say that people don't make sales because I'm sure they do, but it's
Right.
not like your typical reptile show. You know what I'm saying? It's not like people. I mean, you know what it's like to be in a city, man. Anyone off the street could just walk by and be like, damn, reptile show, best spontaneous buys, spontaneous sales. You're selling stuff, people are coming and going. Like people have to plan to go way out of their way to go there. So you're I just, again, I'm trying to look at it from a consumer standpoint. Like it's just not on the map of places you're just going to walk on by to go in. Like
Right.
chances are a lot of animals there are probably pre-sold. Some may be sold, obviously, for people walking around and see something they like that they didn't see before, but it's not a big sales thing, I wouldn't imagine. It's more of a retreat, right? It's a retreat.
Right.
It's a networking thing. It's something I think you guys would do, incredibly well. Don't get me wrong. But I
We
believe
curated.
you'd make more money in other places, doing other
Right.
shows.
It's
But
funny though with the show scene, we do very well at the shows, very very well.
I
But
bet.
that's never been a part of our game plan. Our game plan for the shows is to hopefully get into regions, so where we can kind of get out there and network with the actual
With the
customers that
customer
we've
base.
been
Yeah.
dealing with back and forth online. We do
Mhm.
so much online that we want to get out to California, Texas. We want to get out into these different regions that are not very familiar with seeing us face to face. That's the benefit of doing the shows, and the revenue side
Sure.
of things is just another perk. So we want more so the platform. A lot of the time we've done shows where, hey, we did St. Louis, and if you can get, 5,000, 10,000 people through the door, it makes it more beneficial for us being
Yeah.
a content creator, being a online sales business, where it's
You guys
more
are full
beneficial than
time.
just cash in hand.
Full time. You have
Yeah.
to, and I'm not telling you guys anything you don't know, but you have to look at this different than the hobby breeder who's just in it to have fun
Right.
type stuff. I mean, it can bring
Right.
you plenty of joy, but you
Oh, yeah.
ultimately have bills to pay, mouths to
Right.
feed. You have to do what makes the most sense financially, and
Absolutely.
I respect it, man.
Absolutely.
Calculating, crunching numbers like that, and logistics, this is stuff. Excuse me, I think I just swallowed a fruit fly. This is what I don't miss about this time of year, man. All these damn bugs start flying around my room.
Yes. And they're
Oh,
done.
damn. That's nasty. Oh, crap. But again, it's like, a show like St. Louis with 10,000 people is clearly
Right.
going to make more sense than Flora Fauna. And again, I'm not bashing Flora Fauna. I love Gabby, love Brett. They put on a
We
hell
love
of a
them too. We
show,
plan on
hell of an
doing the
event.
show. I think they're relocating the show to, I
Yeah.
think, North Carolina. I've heard
Really?
next
Well,
year.
that's where the shop is, isn't it? Have you
Yeah.
guys ever been to their shop? Have you ever been to the
Not
store?
yet. We're planning on doing that.
Keep planning on doing that. It's just like time
That'd be
gets
cool.
away from us.
Yeah.
It's
Even
so
though we're
hard.
here on the compound and we work from home, man, we
It's
stay
just
so
like
busy. It's
mhm.
insane. We stay
I
so
bet.
busy.
I bet.
Pretty much
Cool.
any time that's not dedicated to going here and doing things for the business is dedicated to our children.
Right.
And that
Amen
that
to that.
comes before anything, so it really
We have basketball events, track,
football, wrestling,
football.
like it's
Oh, yeah.
always something. Yeah.
That's good that you got them doing it, though, man. You're living the life, man. That's the American dream, right? You own a
Yeah.
business and you got the opportunity to raise your children like
Yeah.
respectable people, man. That's the American
Definitely.
dream. God bless, man. That's beautiful, man. The whole thing is, man. I love what you guys are doing, man.
Thank
Thank
I
you.
you.
admire you
Thank you.
guys so much, man, for all
We
of that.
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
We really appreciate it.
It's just again, I'm not taking anything away from you, but I hope people see that anybody could do this, right? Like if you got a
Yeah.
passion, you too can have any type of business and pay attention to your
Definitely.
family just as much. You don't have to compromise one to better the other. I mean, there is a
Right.
Mhm.
balance, man. Life is all about balance,
Definitely.
Yes.
You
Definitely.
guys do it well. Who's into the business books? One of you two is very business savvy. I've dabbled in a few business books, and I can tell someone's reading
The only
someone's into
big business book that I've really read, and
Rich Dad,
it's
Poor
a
Dad.
small book, is
There
Rich
you
Dad
go.
Poor Dad.
Yeah.
Rich
That
Dad
one
Poor
I would
Dad is
recommend anyone.
Kiyosaki
Yes,
book, right?
yes, it
Henry
is.
Kiyosaki.
And then The
Yeah,
Art of War, which is not really a business book, but you can kind of spin it
for
into
sure.
business.
Yeah.
That's Green. What's his name? Robert Green. Robert Green.
I think it is. I think it
Yeah.
is.
And then you know, it's funny because one of my favorite books and the one that I probably read more than anything is the Bible.
Amen to that.
So
Listen, I tell people all the time, if there was no God, right? If we lived our lives by this book and we do everything that it says and we look like weirdos to everyone else out there, and at the end of the day we die, lights out, we don't wind up in a heaven, there ain't no heaven. Was it really a bad way to live your life?
yeah,
Was it a bad way to live your life? Is it a bad way to treat people how you want to be treated? Is this so
Right.
wrong?
my thought process is if but what if I'm right? What if we're right? You know, and I would much rather be spending my time in the pearly gates of heaven than the other side. I don't want to burn. No offense, I don't like being hot.
I'm second generation Italian, born and raised in New York, man. I'm a Roman Catholic. I mean, it is so much more than a religion to me, man. The Bible is part of who I am, unfortunately. I know I ain't always abided by it, but I try.
Right.
Does
You know?
anyone?
I try.
I don't think anyone does.
I
Right.
try.
Yeah.
Give you
You know,
your
I
best.
genuinely try to treat people how I would want my loved ones to be treated, you know?
Absolutely.
Yep. The golden rule.
Absolutely.
For sure, for sure. For sure. All right, so we're whoa, damn, we're over the hour.
Yeah.
Good conversations, man. You know, it's what I was saying earlier. I mean, I hate keeping people. But it's sometimes conversations just go and you have a good conversation. And, you know, I mean, again, like I said, my objective is to get people to see who people are, man. See how people answer questions that they weren't expecting. I don't have a script. I just talk to people, man. I want people to see that they can too. That anyone out there that's watching this that has a question can approach these people. You can ask them
Yeah.
questions. You can,
Definitely.
reach out. Don't feel that you're anything less because you have one animal. Reach
Yep.
out to these big names. Because they're big name people doesn't mean they're rude or mean or standoffish. I mean, people are willing to help in this community, and that's something that's I think underappreciated and understood, misunderstood. I don't know what I'm trying to say. People just have this misconception that they're Gecko famous. They're not going to answer me. 9
We
times
answer
out of
everything.
10, you get an answer. You'll
Yep.
get help to your problem. It's if you're having an issue, odds are these guys have been through it already. It's a beautiful thing, man. And I just hope that you guys out there can see how awesome these guys are and how much, how dedicated they are to us as the consumer. Everything they do is for us to get
We
us
couldn't be
better
here
animals, to
without
give us a
everyone.
better experience, to make everything better for us out here, just trying to enjoy these things. They're
Absolutely.
doing the hard work. Go over to Flawless Crested Geckos if you're not already. Show them some love. Check out their Patreon.
Yes.
Follow them on every platform. Check out what is your guys' the name? And I apologize, I don't follow. Maybe I do, but the snake. What are you guys calling your snake brand? Flawless.
So our snake brand is Flawless Exotic Creations, and we have YouTube, we have Instagram, we have Facebook. We have all the things as it pertains to that. And then you can actually check out our link tree for Flawless Crested Geckos for everything flawless. We also have a TikTok that has both the snakes and the cresties, and we have some chewies as well. So spotlight
you guys
that.
got into Chihuahuas now, huh?
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
had them
we do.
for
Oh,
a little
yeah?
while now.
Yeah, they've just been
That's my
hanging out.
thing, man. I got into the Crested
Oh.
Geckos because of the Chihuahuas. I bought a bunch of babies, fell in love with Chihuahuas, bought 30 of them, man, before the pandemic.
Wow.
30 of them. And raised them all from babies. So I had 4 years. I didn't breed them until they were like 3.5, 4 years old, which I know now that I could have bred some a little earlier. But I wanted to learn hands-on. So that's how I got into Crested Geckos. I'm like, what can I learn that'll help me with them that has a faster turnover? So I started getting into Crested Geckos while my Chihuahuas were growing up and raising. And I mean, that's where my passion is, man. I love the Chihuahuas. I didn't know you guys were working with them. I
Yep.
would have
Yeah.
had me one of them things. That's cool to know. That's good to know.
Mhm.
And your website too. You guys also have a website. Are
Yeah.
you putting stuff out there? So I
Yes.
got another question real quick. Do you guys have time? Like,
Yeah.
do you have a couple of minutes?
Mhm.
How are you doing most of your sales? Are you doing Palm Street, Morph Market? How are you selling most of your where other than shows?
So most of them are really direct to consumer. So you can contact us on email. We still communicate through that, but most people go to our website. We can send them pictures. We can do all of that stuff through there. They can pay through there.
We
Morph
still,
Market as well.
Morph Market, we still get inquiries and Instagram
Instagram.
and Facebook
Really?
Messenger,
Yep.
I
believe
hear
it or
people
not.
do well on Instagram. Like I
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
even see things for sale on Instagram for some strange reason. But every time I talk to people, they're like, yeah, believe it or not, the most of my sales
Yeah. A good
on
portion comes
Instagram. I'm like,
through
really?
Instagram,
Instagram.
Instagram, and TikTok actually. TikTok,
My wife
we
won't let me
get,
have TikTok. Snakes or TikTok.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
TikTok and then just
Palm Street, we've
Palm
done
Street.
some partnership stuff where we team up with Brian and we do
Really?
stuff on the Geckos, but we've done our own Palm Street with Flawless Exotic Creations. It's all under the Flawless.
Okay.
But we literally don't have any stock on
No,
the
no.
snake side either. So we're doing well on that side of
That's
things.
good.
We're 2 years in. We've had almost 80 clutches in total, and we currently have 4 babies available.
Yeah.
We've never vended with them. So yeah,
What type
it's
of jeans are you
crazy.
working with? Not that I know much
Um,
about them, but I know a
a
couple.
lot. Monsoon,
Stranger.
Stranger, DG,
Yeah.
Heard of that.
Pie,
Ultra
Desert
male.
Ghost, that's the other one. I heard of that. The Desert
Desert
Ghost,
Ghost,
I've heard of that.
Ultraman.
Ultra
That's
male.
like a big money one, huh?
Well, in general.
Oh yeah, the combinations of a lot of the recessive
LC.
with some codoms, yep, LC, Black
LC Black
Magic.
Magic.
We got a lot.
And we've got a couple of jeans that we're really excited about kind of coming up, the up and coming type of thing. One
Yeah.
that we've
That's
kind of
cool.
gotten into we kind of pulled out of our collection,
Right.
which was really cool.
Isolated it.
Yeah, isolated it. So we've got a lot of
Nice.
really awesome stuff
Do you
coming up.
think Crested Geckos will ever get as big as ball pythons? Do you think that they have the potential?
I think the potential
Genetically?
is there. I just think it's kind of like, okay, for instance, I'll use this as an example. Will is 42. He'll be 43 in August. I am 39. I'll be 40 in October. I will never catch up to him because he's, 3.5 years ahead of me, almost 4. And so that even though there will be a time where I get to 42, it will definitely be left in the
Good
dust by
analogy,
him.
actually, Will.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that's the same thing that I feel like, in my opinion, and I feel like the ball pythons legitimately their market is 16, 17 years ahead, almost 20 years ahead of our Crested Gecko market. I think it's just time again.
I think it's that and the potential as well, where we talked about a little earlier with people respecting their craftiness on their business side. Since the customer base is far wider, so is the breeder side on the ball python. We often compare it, being out here in it, we'll go as far as to say, if Crested Geckos is represented by the number 1, ball pythons will be represented by 1,000. And that's generally speaking the difference between the amount of breeders versus breeders and customers versus customers. Which was also a determining factor of why we kind of extended ourselves and got into that lane, because personally we feel that the Crested Gecko hobby, community, business is 100 times harder than the ball python side of things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that the ball pythons is easy. It's just you have to go into it with a strategy and you have to execute. And you have to stand on all your business tactics, your morals, and work your projects. The same thing we preach on the Crested Geckos.
Yes.
I agree. From everything you've experienced so far in seeing both industries, I guess, the geckos and the ball pythons, if you could give other gecko, I don't want to say breeders because that covers like a broad array of people, but other gecko vendors one piece of advice to level up, what advice would you give fellow vendors out there to level up to the ball python level? Do this and we could
That's hard.
Yeah.
I would say because we distinguish between
Because you did it.
breeders versus vendors, and you can be either or. It depends on what that person's goal is. But there's people that vend and been vending for 5-10 years that people that's in that species have no clue who they are because there's just legitimately no online presence.
I think really it's just eat, breathe, bleed your brand.
And when we're talking about leveling up, I mean, you have to think about that. If you are just a vendor, which is fine, you have to understand and be willing to accept the fact that when your vehicle breaks down on the way to a show, you're not going to make anything. You're done for that weekend. You're not going to make anything at all. You have no online presence. You have nothing else to fall back on. You just have to get your vehicle or get whatever affairs in order so you can make it to your next event. And typically, you're literally running 30 plus shows a year. Any other family and get quality of life goes down. It's just so many determining factors. We kind of are on the opposite side of the spectrum where we want to be 90% online, push, do your business during the week where it's like, hey, we're going to go vend this big show in Connecticut. And we can go get a plane, we can drive, we can do whatever. But the point of the matter is we're not dependent on the revenue. We're trying to go there and show up and show out and return back home. The revenue side is irrelevant because we've been doing what we need to do between Monday and Friday every single week. So it's kind of, that's how we try to level up and continue to move forward.
It's real
You have to
business
respect
stuff.
it, and you have to answer for it. It's hard.
Presence is everything. Presence and, and
Definitely.
appearance. Unfortunately, I hate to say it. You could have some top-notch animals. Unfortunately, and I hate to say it, if you're not flashy enough, you're not going to get the attention, man. Appearance is really, it's really it. If you've heard the saying, as cliches is, but like fake it till you make it, right? Like you could buy a bunch of fancy banners and invest in a whole bunch of, nice jerseys and hats and shirts and really not, and maybe some nice displays and not have like the best animals. No, there's people out there with better animals, but display your animals as if they are the best and you'll kill it, man.
Or even go one step further. Let's say, go to the opposite side of the spectrum. Let's say you have the best of the best from everyone out there. You have the best from us. You have the best from everywhere. You import out of the country, the whole 9 yards. Everything you have is absolutely fire. It's crazy. And no one knows who you are. So the only revenue stream you're going to get is from, this little town no one heard of that you're vending at, and again, dollar is apples to oranges, but whatever the market may be for whatever it is that you're selling, if you can get that median, not even the high, but the median just by putting it out there, whether it's at a show or it's online, that will be optimal versus no one knows who you are. Throw a tablecloth on the table, you go and vend, you have all this high-end stuff, but now you're inboxing us because we've had to answer these questions and wondering why you can't bring in the same dollar for dollar revenue on the same animal that somebody with more reach can bring in on that same animal. You see, that's a thing.
A lot of people don't understand that it's not just the animal that people buy. They buy the experience. Yes. They buy the customization. They buy the belief in that vision or that mission of that said breeder, that said company, whatever it may be. You can smell a fake a mile away. And that's the thing. You have to be authentically you, but you have to also employ the seriousness of what it is you're trying to present out there. And that's the thing. A lot of people just don't take it seriously, and they think that they're just gonna, even if they have the best stuff, like, you'll probably sell some things. Yeah, you will, because there'll be somebody that comes by and really just loves that particular thing. But your reach is so limited because you literally haven't put in the work.
Right.
You have to put in the work. It has to be day in and day out. And
A lot
a
of
lot of
these
people don't
geckos,
understand
you know,
that.
whether it's just by the genes themselves or whether it's just to display the expression of the genes, a lot of these geckos are one-of-ones. So, you know, you'll notice when you reach that plateau, that moment where it's like, okay, you release something or you make something available. Some people come by your table if you're vending or your website. And not only does that animal sell, but you have 5 to 10 people after that same exact animal. And now it's like, okay, what is that called? That's called demand. So you don't have the supply, but the demand is there. You need to figure out that side of things. It still applies. That normal business still applies.
Yeah, normal business practices of every business that has ever existed applies directly to our industry.
Right.
It's just you have to take it seriously. You know, it's just
We've seen it time and time again. You know, you can have a beautiful gecko in person. It's absolutely stunning. You know, someone, you know, again, being honest, pop out their flip phone from 1980 and take a picture on their hand and post it online. And if we have that same animal and we literally put it under the light, it's all fired up. We represent the true colors of that animal, and you're wondering why there's a $200 to $300 price difference. And that animal still sells before the other person's animal sell, and they're the same animal.
Yeah.
Makes sense. People, there's
Not
so
to
much to this. These are all things you guys talk about and will teach your supporters in the Patreon thing. Guys, check out their Patreon, guys, because I'm super curious too. I learned a lot more about it tonight myself, and these are, you know, tips and stuff that in, you know, my 9-10 years around these things, I don't even know and haven't learned, man. These are if you're looking to model somebody, you know, as a business, if you know what the art of modeling is, if you want anybody to follow and model, man, Flawless is your it, man. These are the guys you want to model your business after. This is Gecko business at its finest, guys. Like, and I don't brown nose nobody for nothing. I'm telling you, this is the top of the line type of stuff that you guys need to be following if you want to take that next step and become a Gecko businessman. If you want to brand yourselves, if you want to brand your work, these are the guys you copy, man. You know, and I hate to say it, not that I want anybody to copy you or beat you or anything, but you guys have a style. You put together a style that you have to expect someone's gonna be listening, watching, and you know, copying some of your techniques and styles and whatnot. You know, it's should be again flattering. You know, you guys do it well. You know, it's all there is to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So, is there anything else that you guys want to share? Announcements? Anything? You know, before we take off, anything you guys want to?
That's pretty much everything.
Yeah,
pretty much everything.
All right. Well, again, I hope you know how sincere I am when I say I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day, out of everything that you guys have, all the other things you could have been doing, to come sit here and talk to nobody, me, man. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it, guys.
We appreciate you.
We appreciate you inviting us on.
I appreciate you guys. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate every single one of you. Every single one of you guys matters, man. And don't ever forget it, man. Stay weird, people.